it comes to Big Boss by Keke Palmer, there's certainly potential there, but at the same time, there's that question of whether somebody should have reined her in, if she should have explored and focused on specific things rather than just be a little bit all over the place, or whether this is simply one of those cases where, while she had a good idea, maybe she should have let someone else cultivate it and really develop it. So to summarize Big Boss, it pretty much is about you learning and getting a sense of who Keke Palmer is. From her being a young woman pre-Akeelah and the Bee, to this woman she is now with a strong faith in God and trying to balance the trajectory of her acting career with her music career. I wouldn't say this is personal in the form of being like a documentary because a bit of it's dramatized, but I would definitely say that beyond what can be provided in social media or even interviews, the pursuit of Big Boss is about you getting a sense of the duality that Keke lives in between the person who is very down to earth and chill to this almost hyper character that people have fallen in love with because of her mannerisms and also her colloquialisms. So with Big Boss on YouTube, naturally it's not explicit in any type of way. It does have cursing throughout, a few fight scenes, maybe some clothing that could be considered provocative, but nothing you wouldn't see in any music video. And to be noted, there is some demonic looking imagery. Getting into highlights, the best part of Big Boss is when it's not about promoting the music album, but rather when instead it's just focused on Keke's feelings, her relationships, and things of that matter. When it's focused on her relationship with her mom and this duality of having to be both a Hollywood girl but also her mother's daughter, and the complication she has with her mother because of their relationship, because that's her manager, but that's also her mom, and her mom hasn't fully learned how to take off that hat and just be her mother, not be her manager. You can see the complications in that in terms of her personal life. And then with the professional life, considering all this demonic imagery when it comes to dealing with people, especially a lot of the relationships she has with men, even if they're not someone who she's romantically involved with, you get a taste of what Keke Palmer has possibly gone through, such as that situation she had, which I can't remember offhand, but she went to somebody's party. They used her for a music video. I can't remember who it was. I just remember it's a singer who got into a lot of trouble recently, but point of the matter is, it feels like when it comes to Big Boss, sometimes Keke's very direct about what's going on in her life and relationships, and other times she's kind of sneaking around it in a way that makes you wish that was the focus, that she really was about who she is, what she's going through, what she has gone through, rather than use this as a project to promote music. So for us, the on the fence topic is the music. Let me first say that, to be fair, the music that Keke Palmer produced for Big Boss is just not for me. With that said, on a critical end, I think the reason why it's not for me is because the music feels dated in the worst kind of way. It feels very much inspired by the 90s, but it lacks the innovation that made the 90s such a big decade for music. And on top of that, I feel like the songs more so clash than meld with everything else that's going on in the film. For while Keke does have some semblance of joy throughout Big Boss, whether she's in the studio or doing a pitch and someone's receptive, I find most of the film very reflective and not geared toward this monotonous club music. So every time a song comes on, more often than not, I wanted to press fast forward, but I was like, maybe there's at least one song I would like. And granted, the music all being kind of similar kind of messed that up, but there were lyrics for one or two songs that I was kind of getting into, but it wasn't getting to the point where I'm going to save it on Spotify or even buy it. It was just something that, for lack of a better way, was less annoying than the other songs that were presented. Overall, when it comes to Big Boss, I feel like it has an interesting and artistic view of Palmer's life, But because of the music that is included, a lot of the potential doesn't get fully realized, or else it kind of gets to the point where it's like stop and start again because you have to showcase the music, which I think to a certain degree was the main point of this project, more than Palmer really flexing her muscles as a writer and director and showing you what she's capable of when she's doing that, producing, and also acting in the same production.